Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
Hello there, wrestling fans! To another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I'm Joe Panther III. And man, oh man, Ringside crew, you are in for a treat. We are adding another add to the Wall of Fame of children of WWE Hall of Famers. Everybody from Jenny Santana to, oh my gosh, Teal Piper and much, much more. Let's give a warm salute, give a big salute. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to Kelly Slaughter.
A 10 hut, maggot.
Yes. Welcome, Kelly. Welcome to Dudes at Ringside.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So happy to have you on. And as I said before, I'm a child of the 90s and the 80s of wrestling. And I remember watching your dad wrestling and I'm 42. So I remember seeing him right before he left. When he was doing I remember when he did the heel Sergeant. I remember when he was a face. For me, it goes back and forth. I hated him because he was the Iranian character, but then I loved him because I watched G.I. Joe. So he was Sergeant Slaughter on the show. So
yeah,
what does it for you? What does it feel like to have people come up to you and tell you so many fond memories of your dad?
Oh, it feels great. I love hearing people tell me how much they love my dad. I love hearing the stories. I love, recently I've been getting a lot of people that have been telling me their dad wasn't in their life. And so my dad filled that role for them. And so it's we shared a dad. And I think that's pretty cool that my dad was able to fill that role for so many people that unfortunately didn't have that for whatever reason. It makes it worthwhile to me because I didn't have my dad around a lot. And, growing up, he wasn't home. He was gone 300 days of the year. And to me.
Awesome. It's sad because people, some people have their some people don't have their dad because of wrestling, you know what I mean? But as you said, you just said it. There's some people that saw your dad as an inspiration to keep themselves going and stuff like that. And it's sad that you didn't get a chance to, your dad wasn't there because he was always on the road and stuff like that. But I would say, as I told you before, there was some people that loved your dad because of the patriotic, and then there's people oh, he was so bad. He was it was crazy to think that he went from beautiful heel soldier G.I. Joe, and then he went have you actually sat back and watched any of it when he turned heel? To watch that stuff?
Yeah, I saw it when it was happening, and I was younger, so I understood, but I didn't really understand. I understood, and I understood it was a major thing that was happening. And his heel turn and turning against the country and being a traitor, and then the war started, and that made it. And so I got it, but I was only in the 6th grade. So I only got it in a 6th grade perspective. You know what I mean? And also I was ruthlessly tortured in school during that time period. And so looking back on it, I actually watched some promos that my dad did during that time frame with my dad and some YouTube channel that had them. And I was maybe 30 and my heart started to race. I started to get mad. Like I'm like gritting my teeth, like clenching my jaw. And I'm like holding my fists, watching my dad like be this heel. And I wanted to kill him. And so I turned and I looked at him. I was like, Dad, no wonder we had death threats. No wonder people wanted to kill you and your family because I want to kill you and your family right now. And this was like 20, 30 years ago. No. And I know it's you, and I know you didn't really mean those things that you were saying, but you were so good at your job, you got your daughter marking out.
That's crazy. Like, did you ever get a chance to go with him to any of the big events, like the Manias or anything like that, to be backstage?
If I was at a Mania, I probably didn't realize it was a Mania. We really didn't go to a whole lot of shows, and the reason why was because we were young, and my dad had to protect the business. It wasn't at that time, it wasn't well known, so we weren't smart to the business, and the way the business was run wasn't out there like it is now. And so he had to protect his gimmick. He had to protect the business. And so my sister and I were not smart to the business. And, he would tell us that he wasn't getting hurt in the ring. And he would tell us that um, that's his friend he's wrestling and they're just dancing and things like that. But then he would come home and he would be hurt and he could barely walk, and you know what I mean. So it was like we knew that those things weren't true, that he was getting hurt. So it was really hard for us to watch him wrestle, and we're like very young at this time. um so we saw my dad wrestled the Iron Sheik, and my sister and I talk about this during the A&E biography that they did on my dad. And we cried because Sheik brought out a weapon and was like, we thought he was going to kill our dad right in front of us. And he played the whole game where he would take it and he had a knife and he would take it and he would put it in his belt. And then the ref would be checking the boot and the audience is going, it's in his belt, it's in his belt. And then he would turn around and take it from his belt and put it in his boot. And then the ref is checking his belt, and then the audience is going, it's in his boot, it's in his boot. So that went on and he's moving it around and stuff like that. And my sister and I are like, away from him, he's gonna kill our dad. And so after that, my mom pretty much was like, they can't go to any more shows, Bob.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we were like, it was traumatizing to us because there's a man who, by the way, Sheik was a family friend, so we're seeing him in the ring about to kill our dad, so that's confusing. Yeah, it was traumatizing. And my sister had to be taken backstage by my mom. I stayed. I ran after the match was over and my dad won. My mom took my dad backstage and I ran to the ring to my dad. And I was like tugging on him and he turned and looked and saw it was me. And he was like, oh, Kelly, and, grabbed my hand and I walked back through the curtains with him. And when we walked back through the curtains, there's my mom with my sister going, I cannot believe you just did that.
Oh God. Like,
what are you doing in front of your kids? But my dad maintains that he didn't know Sheik was going to do that. So, but yeah, anyway, to answer your question, we didn't go to a lot of them because we were little and we were not smart to the business. So, yeah. So when we got older, we would go to some when we were a little bit older. But at that point, he was kind of, his career was at the end, and that's when he was like commissioner
I
That's
remember
like
that.
when we
Yeah.
were going to the matches. Yeah.
So when he won the WWF title against the Ultimate Warrior, did he bring the belt home and you got a chance to hold it and everything?
Yeah, he still has it. I've got pictures of me with it. I actually did a side by side of me holding it up like my dad.
Actually,
So
you're
yeah.
gonna laugh. That is the replica title that I got from my dad got me for Christmas, the winged eagle, and I call it
Oh
Goldie.
yeah.
That's like she's my golden girl. She's right here. Oh, yeah, she wants me to say
Nice.
hi because she has to be on camera. Goldie's always got to be on camera.
Hey, Goldie.
It's Goldie. She
Looking
represents
good. Nice
all
and
countries.
shiny.
She represents everybody. Good old USA, Canada, Puerto Rico. Everybody. It's
Nice.
my
I
little
love it.
gift to the world. my precious belt, my precious title belt.
That's a
That
good gift.
yes, Papa Panther really hooked me up, and I designed it. Ruda Entertainment put it together. My dad. Yep. So if anybody has any questions for Kelly in the chat, spit away. I don't want to be the only one asking her questions. Sorry if the name in the title is wrong, Kelly. That's what I thought of when I was typing it in. I'm like, daughter of Sergeant Slaughter. like, I could fix it in pre, and we could fix it, so it's okay.
Sunny days. Sunny
Wow.
was actually my grandmother's nickname.
Oh yeah, that's what you're talking about in the bar. Yes, I was like, oh my god, the video name is wrong. Oh no, but I can fix it. Watch, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Is I was supposed to interview her yesterday, and I thought it got canceled, and she was on a different time zone, and I was like, I am,
Oh,
AKA,
whoops.
like, what's his name from The Simpsons? I'm in danger. Like, it's so Joe's always in danger, but good danger, not bad danger.
Right.
Heels don't like me. That's why I'm like Mario. I like that. I have a cheat code on my wrestling life. I'm like, this heels could take me out, but I just blink and go, anything else? That's me. So I want to tell you my wrestling, like where my besides learning about wrestling because of my dad, that my grandfather was a professional wrestler in the 50s and 60s. My uncle Tony, I don't know if he's watching this. He probably watched this later because he usually watches my episode. Thanks again for bringing me to the garden all those times. But the first time I ever set foot in Madison Square Garden, it was the match your dad did against Hulk Hogan in Madison Square Garden. As I just said that twice. I can't remember the date. I think I have it on my phone somewhere. I have to get it. Like my phone died and it turns off. So I'm like, that's great. No viewer. But your dad faced Hogan in the boot camp match. And that was my very first match I ever saw with WWF Live.
That's a good match to be your first one.
Yes. And like all I remember, Kelly, is sitting down. My uncle gave me I had popcorn or whatever, and makes me love the announcers. That's why I love being a podcaster. When I do my intro, I go like announcer, hey, hello. The first memory I ever had is the lights go down in the garden. The light goes over Fink. And he's like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Madison Square Garden. Everybody starts cheering and screaming. And then he's like, here we go. And then the show starts. First match of the night. Still remember to this day, Haku versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. First match of the night. That, like, everybody that's like, wow, you got treated to a, absolutely fantastic match. Like, that, and that's still, I watched it last year because I found it on the old school shows, and I was just like, I was treated like no one else. Like, you got treated, Joe. That match, like, could have been something out of WrestleMania. I don't even think they faced at WrestleMania, Haku and Ricky. I don't think they ever fought there. But yeah, and then the thing top it all, the main event wasn't your dad. It was something else. It was like a match that could have been on the mid card. But this is why the story, my dad laughs at me time I bring this up. That match, I cried so hard because Hulk Hogan was absolutely, and it's not like, nowadays they bleed a little bit. And it's just like a little bit of blood. Hogan bled like a stuffed pig. Like, he bled so hard. I was like, oh, he must have got himself. right? Kelly, he hit himself wrong with that razor that night because it looked like he went, instead of going like they would say, like, tap tap tap. It looks like he went like he caught himself. So I think Slaughter hit him on the side too hard, and I was up high, but I think it was Hogan did this and then touched the back of his tights, so he had like a red handprint on his butt.
Jeez.
It looks like he was nowadays like the stupid Joe joke. Somebody was grabbing strawberries from the bench. That's what it looked like. It looked like he was getting. I think we have a question here. I don't know what you're sure.
Did I ever think about wrestling? Yes. I wanted to be a wrestler when I was a little girl. And my dad said absolutely not. And my mom said absolutely not. And that was that.
What about a manager?
Let
You
me
thought of being a manager?
Well, I didn't think about that at the time. So here's the thing. When I wanted to be a wrestler, I was little. So it was in the 80s and early 80s. And the women in wrestling that I saw were managers. So it's like basically Arm Candy and Glow. And to me, you know, Glow was very campy and very hypersexualized, and which obviously I didn't know those terms back then, but I didn't like it. I felt like they weren't taken seriously, and they should have been taken seriously because some of those Glow wrestlers were absolutely freaking phenomenal wrestlers. Um, so I didn't feel like the women in wrestling were taken seriously. So I was like, well, how would I be taken seriously? I want to fight the men. I want to wrestle the men. So if I had been a wrestler, I would have wrestled men.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to do. And so that was probably another reason why my dad was like, no.
You would have been in China. And you would have been like the early 80s China, because this.
Yes. It would have been
There's no
before
more women
China.
that
And
wanna
so
wrestle men. It's like, no, ew, not wrestling a man today. Not safe. No.
I would still, if I was to get into wrestling now, I would still want to be wrestling men.
Do you think
I
there's
don't know
still a
why.
opportunity for you?
I don't know why. And it like, I don't know. When I was little, boys would come over. We would wrestle. I had never wrestled the girls. I was wrestling with the boys. I don't know if maybe that's why. I don't know. But I wanted to wrestle the boys and or the men. And I mean, think about that though. I'm only 5'7". I would be like pummeled. Are you kidding me? So yeah. But well, now like I think some of the women in wrestling now are freaking badasses. And oh, can I cuss?
You can curse. Don't worry, you're not in trouble. We're not people.
Okay. Um, but yeah, I would love to wrestle some of them. Some of them I think are not that great, but that's
Yeah.
my very unprofessional
Me
opinion.
too. It's all good. So you said you wrestled the boys when you were a little girl. Did you ever go, oh, I know my finisher? Did you automatically do the camel clutch on every boy?
Not the camel clutch. I would do the cobra clutch, and yeah, I would. And I were like afraid of fighting. I mean, they would like fight. We would be fighting. We would really be like wrestling and like getting like rug burns, and you know, like we were really going at it. And I don't know if they just didn't want to hurt me, but I always won.
I would have been like, if I was in the neighborhood with your friends, I'd be like, my dad would be like, Joe, be careful. That's Sergeant Slaughter's daughter. Are you stupid? She'll knock your ass out. Like, it's done.
Yeah.
But then as you hear, I'm the 90s kid. I'll be like, hi, Kelly, is Daddy home? Can I hang out? Can I wear his helmet? Can I walk around the block? Can you make me do 50 push-ups in the yard? I'll do it. Like, how's that kid? Or you beat up like Nyluck. I'd go to your house after he lost to Hogan. Ha ha! You lost to. I'm sorry, Mr. Slaughter. I was just kidding. Because little me was WWF, like super, like anybody we would say WCW in my presence, I'd go, what's that? Or gross, and get out of my yard. Like, oh, like, so now you go to like all these conventions and stuff like that. Do you go with your dad, or you just go sometimes representing your dad and stuff like that?
I have gone with my dad a couple times to some shows recently. Joe Fest is one of them, which is coming up in Augusta. I'm sorry, it's coming up in June in just like 3 weeks or something like that. 3 Fridays. And I will not be there, sadly, because I am going to a music festival instead.
Ooh. Ooh, where is this music festival? Because I love music festivals. Love them. Love music festivals.
It's in Virginia Beach. It's called Point Break, and it's a reggae festival.
Ooh. Love music. Actually, where I live in Pennsylvania, Kelly, the town's called Milford, Pennsylvania. I don't know if you ever heard of Milford. Have you ever heard of
I
Milford?
feel like I have, but is Milford a character on The Simpsons?
I think
Milford?
it is. Millhouse. Millhouse is the character.
Millhouse. Okay. I'm like, maybe I'm thinking of that. Like the name is familiar, so I don't know if it's
Yeah.
Pennsylvania or whatever. But
Well,
anyway,
Milford, PA is where I live, and I think it's in June. The town's called Milford, Pennsylvania. And my computer keeps saying, "Hey, talk to me." They think it's in June, maybe July. They do a music festival, and it's all around the town. They have people little sets up on the corners and in front of businesses. It's a really nice little town. If you ever should just ever you're on the highway and you're near Pennsylvania, you roll through PA, and you see a sign that says Milford, PA, and it's not too. We close the sidewalks here at like 6 o'clock. So if it's like early, just drive through and be like, "This is where Joe lives. This is Joe lives." And I could see you taking a picture next to the sign, going, "Where are you, Joe?" Like, I'll have to like run down. You'll see me like running down the hill. I made it. I made it. I'm here.
I'm
I'm
here.
here. Here's my sticker.
Where is that in? Yeah, there you go. Thanks for the sticker.
I'll give you a
Where? Sorry, go ahead.
I love giving stickers.
Yeah, I would love to have a sticker.
Sure.
I don't have my water bottle in here. My regular water bottle is full of stickers.
I'm bringing you.
Got my
I'll
cup
send you
today.
one in the mail after the podcast. I'll just take your address and I'll send you a Dudes at Ringside sticker.
Thanks. I would love that.
Well, I interrupted you. Tell your story. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't remember what was I saying?
I don't know, the water bottle or
Oh,
town, I guess.
what? So Pennsylvania is a very large state, but
yeah.
where in comparison to like Carlisle, Pennsylvania is that?
Carlisle? That's actually gonna laugh. That's where my dad got his classic car from. Carlisle.
Nice.
Yes. His Biscayne comes from Dream Lover comes from there. That's his car. That's what it's called, Dream Lover. Yep.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
My
Carlisle?
one of my nieces goes to college at Dickinson, so I was just curious as to where, if it was
Oh my
close to
God,
it.
imagine the kids that watch wrestling and they know old school wrestling, Kelly, that see the name Slaughter, and they're like, "Oh my God, like grandpa's your grandpa." Like, what is like? Do your kids like watch like old school matches of your dad and like freak out to realize their grandfather Sergeant Slaughter? No.
No. Mm-mm.
Wow.
My daughter, I think my son, I think we like showed him a match on YouTube once, and he was just like, cool.
Wow.
And my daughter hasn't seen any yet because she's only 6. So I haven't shown her any. But my son, when they did the anniversary release in the theater for G.I. Joe the movie, we took my son and one of his friends with my dad. And that was kind of fun because we just kind of like showed up in the theater and there were people that were like already sitting there and they were like watching my dad walk in the theater.
Who wouldn't? It's Sergeant Slaughter. Like, did he?
Like,
here we go. Did he go with the helmet or did he go with his little band hat like that?
No, he was just dressed normal. I think he had a G.I. Joe hat on. I had a G.I. Joe shirt on, I think. But yeah. So that was kind of cool. And at one point my son turned to me and he was like, "When is Grandpa in this movie? Is he really in it?" because it's so long during that movie before he's even in the movie.
Oh God, poor guy, poor Slaughter. I'm like, dude, if I was the director, I would have him like right as like this, all the kids, all the regular people come in, and I would have him as one of the big, scary people and come in and think he's, but come on like Slaughter and goes, everybody, we're gonna have a nice day, right? And have him be so come with the shoulder pads on, with the helmet, with the big glasses, have the thing in his mouth, like poof, picks it out, slaps the thing with the and go. So everybody, we're gonna have a good class tonight, right? Like scare all the kids. Like that's what I would have did to Slaughter. Scared all the kids. Scared everybody in the room. But yeah, we have another question from the chat.
Hey Jimmy, did I ever play with GI Joes when I was younger? I had my dad's GI Joe, and it just sat on my shelf because I played with Barbies and GI Joe was not to scale.
Mm.
And like my Barbies, like they like kissed and like were married and like, had babies and stuff. And like I wasn't gonna do that with my dad.
No. Oh my God, no. You'd be like, no, Dad, you beat up Ken. Beat up Ken.
Right. Like, Dad, you go sit over there and watch TV.
Yeah. You find the
Dad, we're
Barbie.
gonna go have some fun.
You have fun. Your dad's just chilling. He's charged of slaughter. Like,
Yeah.
did you
I
ever
was
have your dad's figure from WWF? Like that WWF figure that they made of him?
mhm. Yes, I have. I think I've got like one of everything of his. Maybe not of every, like I don't have the bubble bath or we used to have his Halloween costume, but that got kind of like wrecked in the garage because it got hot and like
Yeah.
deteriorated. But I was actually a Transformers fan. I watched the Transformers. I did watch G.I. Joe, um, but I feel like at the whenever G.I. Joe was playing, I feel like something else was playing that was like more what I wanted to watch.
Hmm.
But like obviously I watched the movie and stuff, and like Transformers, I would watch Transformers all the time. And
Yeah.
Thundercats. I loved
Oh yeah.
Thundercats.
I love watching
Yeah.
that on Netflix now. I think Hulu or Netflix. I think it's Hulu. Like I don't even is I gotta ask the chat. Is G.I. Joe on Netflix? Because I've been I know it's what's his name? I think Thundercats. I think it's on Netflix or Hulu. I remember watching it. I was watching Thundercats. But yeah, definitely it just makes me like smile to know that your dad is known for like two separate generations of kids, like the GI Joe kids and the WWF kids for good and bad reasons. Because they'll be like, your dad was such a meanie. He teamed with he's teamed with the Sheik and Daryl Adnan and tried to burn Hogan's face, and then winning the WWF title at the Rumble. Like for me, that was like a shocker because it was the Ultimate Warrior, and like, oh, it's on Tubi. Oh, it's on Tubi. Okay, it's on Tubi. Thanks, Jimmy.
Nice.
Is this Jimmy?
Well, that's
Is
good to know.
yeah, Tubi. Hope they're
Yeah, that's
sending me
good to know because now I know where I can show my kids episodes. So
Tubi.
thanks for that.
Yes, if this is the Jimmy that I lived on the same street with, he's the guy that I used to watch wrestling with. If this is that Jimmy, like was a
Oh, that's
guy that I grew
awesome.
up with, was like my best friend, and all we did was watch WWF together all the time. If this is the Jimmy in
That's
the chat,
awesome. Is that
if
the
this is
Jimmy
that
in the
Jimmy in the
chat?
if that's the Jimmy in the chat, like that's my dude. That was like my dude when I was a kid. All we did was watch
That's
WWF
cool.
together and like wrestle and watch the stuff. That is that Jimmy. Like me and Jimmy were like the wrestling people that everyone wanted to be around. Like watch wrestling, hang out with Jimmy, like and just chill and
Nice.
stuff like that. Yeah, if that's not that Jimmy, then where is a Jimmy that I used to hang out with all the time? Alexander, go to his house, drink Pepsis, and just watch wrestling. Watch wrestling constantly.
Nice.
Constantly. If it is, it is. If it isn't, then that's the Jimmy we used to watch. Yep, 80s, and still,
Nice.
it's crazy to think that all of these shows are now on all these apps, and it's like Like, yeah, yeah, not the same person. Oh well, not the same Jimmy, not the same Jimmy. But
That would have been cool if it was. But
yeah,
we're
it would have
so
been
glad
cool.
that it's you, Jimmy.
Yeah, not the right Jimmy. Dang it. To me, at least it's not like little our truth's little Jimmy. Little Jimmy's in the chat. Uh-oh. But what is it like? It must be like crazy to you that think that there's still generations of kids that don't know about your dad.
Yeah, most of the kids now that know who my dad is probably because their parents are fans. And so then they're then become fans. But he does have some young fans and he loves them and always treats them very special and gets some pictures and he remembers their names and if he sees them again, he remembers them. So, which is I think is pretty amazing. My dad can, somebody will bring up some like obscure show in some obscure city that like no one's ever heard of. And my dad will be like, oh, yeah, that was 1977. And I wrestled this guy and so was there. And like he can like just say it. And I'm like, I don't even remember what I ate yesterday.
I
My
kind of
dad's like
remember.
talking about stuff that happened in 77, you know?
Yeah, your dad may remember him. If you speak to your dad, ask him, does he remember a wrestler named Pete Sanchez?
Okay.
He
Was that your
wrestled.
grandpa?
That was my cousin. That was my cousin Pete
Oh, your
Sanchez.
cousin. Oh,
My
did you
grandfather was
say that
Jose.
your grand?
My grandfather was Jose Quinones. Named he wrestled from 55 to 65. My cousin Pete Sanchez, which got into the business, he was kind of bad. My dad, he was very young, so he got my cousin into the training, kind of like it's a little young, but go in, train. And Pete Sanchez stayed into the WWF till the late 90s. And he was
Oh,
on
nice.
pretty much all the golden era wrestlers that went into the Hall of Fame wrestled Pete Sanchez, my cousin.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I
I'll
think he
ask him.
wrestled
I'll
your dad.
text him.
Yeah, at Pete
I'm gonna
Sanchez.
text him right now.
That would be hilarious if he knew.
Pete
Sanchez.
Sanchez.
Ooh, Panther.
Or what was your grandfather's name? Because my dad watched wrestling before he wrestled. Like he was a
His
fan.
name was Jose Quinones the Panther.
Oh, the way I worded that sound looks funny. Hold on.
Your dad's gonna be like, "Soldier, what's wrong with you?"
Well, because I said, do you remember Pete Sanchez, the wrestler, or Jose Quinones, the Panther?
Yeah,
So it's
he's gonna
like
be like, "What?"
that. Yeah. So let me say the wrestler, Pete Sanchez.
I really wish he could be in the
So nice
chat. And be
that
like, "What are you talking about? You too?"
he's don't you love, I don't know if you have an iPhone, but you can edit your text messages now.
I love
I love
that.
that. Yes, it's so nice.
What
Okay.
is
Anyway,
the funny
we'll
question
see
being
what
an
he says.
iPhoner? Like it's an iPhoner. I have an iPhone. Is it funny to see non-iPhone text messages? You go, "Ugh, what is this?" Like,
What's this green?
yeah, I go, "Oh gosh." And they're like, "Joe, you sound so bougie." I'm like, "It's not bougie. It's just me being, ugh, you're not an iPhone." I can't.
It only bothers me, those green ones, the Androids or whatever, because when you put them in a group chat, you can't change anybody that's in it. Like you're stuck with that group chat and you can't remove anybody or like add anybody. Like, you know what? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's like that's the only thing that really annoys me about the Androids. It is legit. Yeah,
yeah.
it is a legit hold. People ask me, is wrestling real? And I say,
Lean over. I'll try. I'll
do you
show
want me
you.
to put a move on you? And you can tell me if it's real. Sometimes they say yes, and then they sit there and I'll really put it down hard on them, and they're trying not to be like, tapping out or whatever. And then sometimes they don't want me to. They're like, no, that's okay.
It's funny that he said he met your dad. I met your dad, and it was funny because I was dressed in a Ghostbusters flight suit, full on proton pack. I'm being covered by half the sun.
That's awesome.
It was
I
so
love
funny. I was
that.
in a Ghostbusters. I had my pack on. It was like my original pack that's half the size of me. Went to the back of my neck to the base of my butt. And I walked up, and my buddy's like, "Man, it's Sergeant Slaughter, man." And I'm like, "Yeah, Justin, I know it's Sergeant Slaughter. I'm gonna walk up." So I walked up, and I was like, "Mr. Slaughter, how are you?" And I shook his hand, and I swear my phone was like, he saw my face. I just this. He shook my hand, and I took his hand, and I heard all my knuckles just go.
Crack.
He squeezed my hand like this. He may not remember me. Be like, "Oh, I do remember that guy." I'm 5'1". This little short guy in a Ghostbusters flight suit at near Comic-Con. I forgot what year it was, but it was the first year I ever went. And
That's funny.
it was so cool to like see him, and he was at his a table and everything. And I was like, that's so cool that I get a chance to meet a legend, like be able to just walk up and say hi. You know what I mean? Like most people like they won't even do that. Like at that same show, I went to say hi to a Power Ranger, and his representative was like, "Oh, he doesn't do that." And I'm like, all I want to do is say hi and shake his hand, like in Ghostbusters 2, when he goes, "You, you just lie to me and kiss my butt or something. I'm a voter." Peter Venkman says in Ghostbusters 2, "I'm a voter. You can lie to me and kiss my butt or something." I was like, just shaking his hand. I'm not going, "Can I steal an 8x10?" Like,
Did he want to charge you for it? The
yeah.
handshake?
He
Yeah.
looked at me like he intercepted handshake. I'm like, not with you. You're a schmo.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't a Power Ranger.
The
You were
rep comes in. He's like, "Yeah, hi. I'm the rep. We don't do that here."
no. You'll be like, snap, snap, crackle, pop. Sorry. No handshakes. No handshakes, no high fives. $5.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Every celebrity has their own rules about how they want to handle their fans and what they want to charge for, what they want to do, what they don't want to do. But my dad is pretty much very open with his fans, and if they want to come up and talk to him, whether they're gonna buy an 8x10 or not, he's welcome. Like, he likes to talk to you and say hey and all of that. And the part that gets me, because I've seen it happen, are the people who are like, "Oh, no, I don't want to pay for a picture, and I don't want to get my picture taken. I just want to shake his hand." And then they do that, and then their friends are taking pictures.
yeah, that's not fair. That takes,
Yeah,
because
that's not fair. That's
I
when I'm like,
interviewed.
"Give me your phone." And we are deleting those and then deleting the deleted ones because you're an
Yeah,
ass.
yeah. As you see, I interview independent wrestlers, and like if you ever came to PPW with your dad, because they do have bigger stars that come in. Like we just had Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle came to PPW, and he signed. They did a complimentary, like a whole deal that you can meet him, go in the ring. They had a belt that you could buy that was called the
Cool.
Bro Belt, and you could buy it and take a picture with Riddle with the belt. Like if you came to PPW and your dad had a table, I would definitely go, "I'm going to buy an 8x10 or something like a G.I. Joe sticker or whatever to come say hi to your dad." Like, "Hey, I got a sticker. I'm going to say hi to your dad. How you doing?" And Kelly, what's up, girl? Like, I'm not going to.
I'm
I
like,
know
"What's
the
up,
rules. What's up? Yeah, this is that little guy that I told you about that he cried when you beat up Hogan. Stole maggot, you cried. My dad's like, "Yeah,
Joe?"
my son was." "Dad, don't get involved."
Shh, Dad, come on.
"Dad, you're not supposed to tell people I cried." No. I
All
was a
right, don't break my
child.
cover.
I was 8, Dad. I was 8. You can't make fun of everyone else. 8-year-old Joe Panther crying in the garden. I can see the AI picture now. Little red would go, like, I was 8. That's bullying. Like,
It's funny. I
so
cry all the time, so
I cry.
I'm not going to say anything.
I listen to 80s music, and some of that hit me, and I just start crying. Like, I'll cry listening to 80s music. I don't know. Like, so
There
with
was
me
a
being at the
song
level,
that
sorry, go on.
I'm
Go on.
sorry.
Yikes.
I was
We're
just gonna say
talking. This
there
is
was
a
an
fun
80s
episode,
song.
Kelly. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying
Oh,
this,
good.
and I love this. This is so much fun. I'm having so much fun with you, Kelly.
Yay, I'm glad. Thank you. I'm having
Yeah,
fun too.
I'm honored.
Um,
I'm honored to have you on. I'm honored to have you here share your story with your dad and with you being a slaughter yourself. My favorite part of this whole thing is when it comes to like local, because I love talking about local businesses and stuff like that. Where's that spot that you always go with your family that you love eating in your area?
hmm, I'm trying to think. There's well, our favorite restaurant to go to. Now this is like my family, like my husband and my kids. There's a Chinese place that we like to go to, that's a little bit far from us. But it's called Wan Fu. If you're in the Charlotte area, you should go check out Wan Fu. It is a wonderful Chinese restaurant. It's been around forever. My family, including my dad, like when we lived here when we were little, we went there. Like my sister had her rehearsal dinner there. So it's a pretty sentimental restaurant for us, and we go all the time.
Got a big message here.
Oh yeah. So people have asked my dad to do that, and he'll do it. I don't know how he comes up with how much he's going to charge you for it, but he will do it for you. Like if you're at a con and you see him, he'll do it.
I've seen people do that. Like I was at, I think it was at the same Comic Con, or was another one with Jay Beans, my buddy, Ballet Club guy. He met no, it was my buddy Sasha. He got one of the tables, one of the guys from Star Wars. I hate this to make me look like I'm like buried in the message. Can't swim. Oof, I could breathe again. Oof, that was over my mouth. That thing smelled. YouTube message. Oh, you guys gotta update your thing. It stinks. Like he met in, I think it was 3CPO, the one that has the funny voice when he talks, the robot from Star Wars.
The
He
little one or the gold one?
The gold guy. Yeah. Is it?
Oh yeah, can't think of his name. 3PO,
Yeah.
3.
He had him record a message for his message on his phone. Like,
That's awesome.
and he also did at the end of the message, he went, whoop, 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 like, oh, I'm sorry, 3PO. Like, it was so funny. I was just like, nah, I like my message because I've had it for years, and it's just me saying, hi, this is Joseph Randy Rutiguas. I can't pick up the phone because I'm probably doing something. That's literally what I say. And for years, Kelly, people have gone, one person actually literally said it on the message. Joe, what are you doing that you can't pick up the phone? Just like, I was like, I don't know, stuff. Like, I make fun of it, go, I'm probably doing something international now. Before it was just like, I don't know, watching wrestling, slinging around, being weird, dancing. I don't know. Yeah, dancing like that.
Not answering the phone is what I'm doing.
Not talking to you. I did the 80s head thing. Not,
You ain't
Kelly's
gonna
making
tell
me
me nothing.
I grew up in CI. You have nothing to tell me nothing. Yeah, Kelly Slaughter's making me do 50 push-ups because I'm late. Like, and actually, it's funny. You were late. I was late coming back from Ben's Fresh. That place, I think I told you in the message. Guys are ever in upstate New York, if you're with your dad going to a show, and you come through, you see a sign that says Port Jervis, New York, definitely roll in and go there for dinner because they have everything on the menu is handmade, fresh. They have chicken tenders that are like this big. Like,
Nice.
like a 2-piece, Kelly, is fine. And you could share, whoever you're with, you could share the French
Oh, I'm
fries
sure.
with. They give you like a nice
It's like a
amount.
whole, not a tender, it's a breast, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, it's like a breast, and it's enough that you could split, and then whoever's with you could eat the other half of the tenders, and like, it's good. Like, I'm not
Nice.
even stand up. It looks like I'm preggers because I like this wrap today that was a soprano wrap that had fried raviolis and meatballs, pepperoni, like all the good
Ooh,
stuff.
that sounds good.
Yeah, it was very good. Look, put that on your GPS. Ben's Fresh, Port Jervis, New York. Like,
Okay.
the kiddos are like, there's lots of ice cream, like different types, and like,
It
mhm.
sounds delicious.
And I'm not getting paid by them, but I'm like, that's my dream sponsor. Ben's Fresh. Ben's Fresh. If you're watching this,
Come on, Ben's Fresh.
they love the kid. They love the
Show up.
Panther. My dad's like, when are they gonna make you like a burger? I'm like, I want a smash burger. I want a burger named after me. I don't want a wrap. I want a burger.
Well, so what would your burger be?
Oh,
What would your burger be?
I would have a double cheeseburger with any kind. Like, I guess I would have like sharp cheddar, sharp like Panther sharp, with bacon, lettuce, and tomatoes, and with like, I would have to have something make it either you can make sharp cheddar or you could put cheese whiz to make it like drippy because I like food because I'm drippy,
Yeah.
Polos make you
Yeah.
drippy. A strawberry milkshake that goes with the red glasses because I love strawberry milkshake. And some French fries. Yeah, the French fries have to be nice and thick, like good. And when
Like
you order it, you
steak
have to
fries.
go. Oof. Oh yes, homemade fries at Ben's Fresh.
Yeah,
They're, like,
nice.
freshly made, and they're good. They have like little potato pieces on it. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
nice. Yum.
So, yep, it's a good place. It's a very nice place. Okay, here we go. Boom, we got another one.
Yeah, they get your voicemail greeting.
Yeah. Jeez. They get in there like, haha, Joe, pick up the damn phone. I know you're just sitting there staring at the phone going, no, I'm not picking up. Like, but Kelly, I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast and coming to hang out with me tonight on Friday night. Thank you very much. If my fans want to follow you on social media, or they want to pick up anything like out of your dad's, if you have anything for sale, if anybody wants to buy a t-shirt or anything of your dad's, where can they find it?
So for my dad, I think it's wrestlingtees.com or something like that. They've got some merch of my dad's on there. You can find me on social media at on Facebook, Slaughter Daughter. On YouTube, I have a YouTube channel. It's called Slaughter Daughter, and my dad and I basically just shoot the shit and have it's just me and my dad talking basically. We did a review of the biography on there. We haven't posted anything in quite some time. I feel like it's almost going on a year that we posted something, so we probably need to do something soon.
I'll definitely, when the clips get put together for this episode, Kelly, I'll send you whatever I can on Instagram. Or if you want, you could, after the episode, just scan the episode. You could screenshot it and post it on your socials. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but thank you so much, Kelly, for coming on. We have some more thank yous. Thank you, audience. Thank you for everybody being so cool and kind.
Thank you.
Being so cool.
Thank you for having me.
No problem, Kelly. If you know of any other of your like WWF kids that you know that
you need to have Lacey Trailer on here. Big Boss Man's daughter.
I actually we were talking because she gave me her number. And
she gave me
we were talking. I talked to that woman on the phone and she said yeah. And we never finished it. And I'm like sad because that's another one. Like, my dad's a CO, and you're gonna laugh. I'm gonna tell you this story, then I'll tell her whenever I get this on. My dad was a CO in New York, and here we go. She's gonna watch this part. You gotta tell her to watch this part. My dad's friends were the guy that arrested the Mountie.
Really?
That was my dad's friends, a CO. He knew them.
So funny.
He knew them. And my dad goes, "Oh shit, those are my boys from blah blah blah." Every time that comes up, my dad goes, "I fucking know those guys."
That's hilarious.
And it's like, I told her, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's so funny." She has the accent like her dad. She's like, "No way, that's funny." Like,
she's from Georgia.
Yeah, Law and Order. Yep.
Law and Order. Yes, that's me and Lacey. Law and Order.
I was trying to get you girls to come on the podcast together, but I couldn't get her to get back to me. But we got to do this again. Like, definitely talk to her and tell her how much fun you had. Show her that part. If you want to make that you can make that a clip when we're talking about her in the end of the episode. But Kelly, thank you so much. But I want to thank you so much. Don't forget, everybody, go to her social medias, give her a big follow. Definitely go to the YouTube channel, give it a subscribe, and check her out. Support her. She's a fellow YouTuber like me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, send this video to all of your friends. We want this video to be 1,000 views by the end of the night. Definitely give it some love. Show me some love. Show her some love. I'm Joe Panther III. Yo, Joe. I'm Joe Panther III. And this
I'm Kelly Slaughter.
And we will catch you in the next one.